Holmes. They were the footprints of a gigantic hound.
A hound?
It's the third of this author's novels featuring Sherlock Holmes. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in this installment of Mojo Notes, we'll be exploring 10 things you should know about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles.
It'll be very interesting to see if my deductions are accurate.
Number 10. About the author. Born in 1859 in Edinburgh, Scotland, Arthur Conan Doyle started writing short stories while studying medicine at university. Since he attracted few clients as a doctor, he continued to write. Though he found much success when he created Detective Sherlock Holmes, he was also politically active and wrote non-fiction pieces. After being knighted by the king, he wrote more books. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle died of a heart attack in 1930. Number 9. Influences and inspirations. During the 19th century, science wasn't yet a popular tool for criminal investigators. So it was a fairly new concept for Conan Doyle's detective to use observation skills to solve crimes, and that likely contributed to Sherlock Holmes' popularity. While Conan Doyle was probably inspired by several sources, his biggest influence for the character is Dr. Joseph Bell and the lecturer's scientific methods of observation.
I used, as a student, to have an old professor, his name was Bell, who was extraordinarily quick at deductive work.
Number 8. Settings and era. Conan Doyle wrote this Gothic-style mystery and crime novel after spending time as a doctor in South Africa during the Boer War. It was published 8 years after his previous Sherlock Holmes story, in which readers were led to believe the detective had died. The Hound of the Baskervilles is set before this story, and it takes place in various locations in England, such as London and the Devonshire moors during the late 1880s. Number 7. Plot. The crime fiction novel follows Detective Sherlock Holmes and assistant Dr. John Watson as they try to solve the mystery surrounding Sir Charles Baskerville's death.
The body was untouched. His face. Never in all my medical career have I seen such a look of horror on a dead person. Sir Charles must have been terrified when he died.
Told from Watson's point of view, it also describes their efforts to protect Baskerville's nephew and heir, Henry, from the family curse.
He has told you of the legend of the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yes, but I don't attach any importance to that sort of old wives' tale.
A man after my own heart.
They eventually realize Henry's long-lost relative Jack Stapleton set a dog upon Charles in the hope that his death would bring him closer to the family inheritance.
The fingers of Sir Hugo's right hand were webbed. Stapleton? Exactly, Stapleton. Illegitimate descendant of Sir Hugo, next in line to the Baskerville fortune.
Fortunately, Holmes and Watson are able to stop Stapleton from doing the same to Henry, and this results in Stapleton fleeing and falling to his death. Number 6. Sherlock Holmes. London detective Sherlock Holmes is known for his intelligence, rational way of thinking, and powers of observation and deduction.
Facts are only of value when they're clear, concise, and correct, Dr. Mortimer.
He distinguishes himself by using scientific methods and technologies in his criminal investigations. His influence is so powerful that he doesn't actually need to be physically present for us to know he's actually busy on the case. And by novel's end, Holmes has saved the day again.
So the curse has claimed its last victim.
Yes. No more will be heard of the Hound of the Baskerville.
Number 5. Dr. John H. Watson.
Dear old Watson.
Dr. John Watson is Sherlock Holmes' trusty and loyal assistant, as well as the novel's narrator. Though he's usually a sidekick and more of a secondary character, Watson eagerly participates in much of the action and crime solving in this novel.
That's just it, Watson. Well done, my boy.
Number 4. The Baskervilles and Jack Stapleton.
You there, let loose the pack! And you, my hunter at the door!
Set the hounds on her.
But you can't shoot them.
Legend has it, a ghostly hound ended the life of the selfish Sir Hugo Baskerville in the 1600s. Since Sir Charles Baskerville believed in this family curse, his friend Dr. James Mortimer asks Holmes to investigate his mysterious death and to protect his nephew Henry from the same fate.
I was Sir Charles' best friend. My duty is to protect that boy.
It was the Baskerville family fortune that led the evil Jack Stapleton, who was actually a Baskerville, to plot his relatives' murders so he could be next in line.
And you can see for yourself.
Stapleton! One move and I'll shoot.
Jack!
You two, stay where you are.
You're under arrest, Stapleton, for the murder of Sir Charles Baskerville, the murder of a convict, and the attempted murder of Sir Henry.
You can't arrest me, Holmes. Now, one move from any of you and I'll blast you all to kingdom come.
Number 3. Values and themes.
If 'twere anyone but my own daughter, master! You should be proud that a Baskerville should so much as look at your miserable child.
One of the novel's main themes is the exploration of good versus evil, as can be seen when Hugo Baskerville and Jack Stapleton's actions ultimately lead to their deaths. The importance of truth versus fantasy is also a prevalent theme, and is represented by Holmes and Watson solving the case and the Baskerville curse.
They use this mask to make it look more terrifying. It was starved for weeks, kept down the mind till the time's ripe, then given the scent.
The Hound of the Baskervilles also touches upon ideas of rank, rights, and privileges between family members.
Mr. Stapleton, will you lead us back to the path immediately, please?
Number 2. Modern popularity.
I've written a good deal more about him than I ever intended to do, but my hand has been rather forced by kind friends who continually wanted to know more.
Though Conan Doyle first introduced the private investigator in his 1887 novel A Study in Scarlet, Sherlock Holmes really gained fame and commercial appeal with the author's short stories. Thanks to Holmes, Conan Doyle is considered the man who popularized crime fiction as a literary genre. First published in 1901, The Hound of the Baskervilles sold so well that Conan Doyle had to take the character off hiatus and write several more stories involving him.
You made the front page.
Only a name and no picture.
Number 1. Adaptations. Because of Sherlock Holmes' popularity, the novel has been adapted multiple times and referenced in various media. These include literature parodies, theatrical productions, and comic book interpretations. Notable screen versions include its first color adaptation in 1959, BBC Television's adaptations from the 1960s, and more.
For God's sakes, Holmes, tell me.
It is Stapleton who is our enemy.
Do you agree with our list?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
What's your favorite piece of the Hound of the Baskervilles trivia? For more informative top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
1, 2, 3.